All right, good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining the post-game press conference. We'll start with questions in the room and we'll go to Zoom if we have time. Doug, go ahead.
You spoke on, I forgot what day it is now, Tuesday and Monday, um, about constant focus, referencing the goals y'all allowed against Toronto. What happened on the two goals tonight in regard to that kind of constant focus?
Yeah, I mean on the first goal, like where I would say we're probably trying to attempt to press a little bit higher or in a moment where we thought we could win the ball. If I remember it correctly, on the right side and Brooks goes and then Steon goes and kind of misses the tackle or they kind of get together. And then from there they recover and I feel like we have two players there and as soon as he gets in between us, I don't know if that one's a focus one really.
Okay.
It's maybe just a play that we mistimed and misjudged on the tackles or didn't win the actual tackle. And then the second one, yeah, it's like you're under it. We no doubt about it. We were under it there at that moment. We were defending crosses, defending a little bit stronger inside the box, and then in one quick moment they pull off us. And we've talked about being man for man inside the box there and not letting guys kind of get that inch. And they got it and they punished us.
Offensively, the post-Tiago era, though I know he's not officially sold, a lot of good stats offensively tonight. But how did you feel the execution was overall?
Yeah, I mean that's the tough part about it. Like you look at the scoreline. That's it. Like the score is 2-1 and we lose the game. So you can look at that. I mean, I think the positive is that there's chances there, but the expected goals and chances they don't mean anything to me unless they go in the back of the net. Like we can have the high expected goals and lose every game, and that wouldn't be fun. So I think that for me, that's it's great that we're having it. I feel like we were putting them under some pressure. The goalkeeper made some really good saves, I would say as well. That showed me that the team was persistent. They were continuously trying to put different deliveries, different movements to get inside those areas. And maybe that's the nature of the game though, too. They were down 2-0. Maybe they dropped in a little bit. Maybe that was something that they were focused on. I don't know. But yeah, expected goals and chance creation, great, but we need the goals to actually go in. So
And without Almada, did you have to change anything tonight? Did you change expectations, tactics, directives?
yeah, I mean the tactics always probably change a little bit in each game and based off the players we have, based off the opponent. The players that we have in this locker room are the players we have. The players that are, coming back from injury are the players we have. I'm not thinking about anybody else other than the group that we've got in front of us. And the group that we've got in front of us has shown me that they are capable of winning a game like this and they were in it. So yeah, I mean, the tactics will always change from game to game or different roles and responsibilities. We try to change the midfield a little bit. And then in the game we adapted things as well because we're trying to pull different things out to win the game.
And I'm sorry, last one for me. The first half, there were four chances created, I think, kind of two really good chances at the end of the half. But then the second half, the offense really came alive. What did y'all change at halftime to kind of get the offense going?
I mean the first half, like if they scored early, but even right before that, right? I would say right off the kickoff, we almost created a
Right.
goal scoring chance. So
Uh-huh.
we did have some chances, and then yeah, we were under it a little bit, and then yeah, we give up two goals and we're down at half. We got into some details about how we could be better at getting in behind in the halftime. Yeah, and then from there they kind of took it as we started to change shape a little bit, as we changed players' roles, substitutions come on, people like that, make a difference. And another one made a difference tonight. And I think that's important that as we make changes and we're gonna need everybody. So that helps. But I wouldn't say it was specific at halftime, but it was yeah, part of the continued message that we were trying to get back in the game and get ourselves a goal to start to kickstart a comeback there.
Felt like in the first 45, New England's best chances, best opportunities came when they were overloading the wide positions. How did you kind of want the team to handle those moments? And did you change anything in the second half, or did they just drop off a bit?
Yeah, I mean, you're right, they did that. We talked about different ways. There was a couple of different ways you could do it with the wing back and jumping all the way to the fullback, and then everybody else shifting over. We talked about midfielder going out to support to help there. We also then talked about one of the front two helping if it's a fullback that's deeper, so dropping in that space. That was in the first half. We were trying to get that information because I think there's different solutions to different problems that they could cause there. And then at halftime, yeah, we did talk about, we showed some video, talked about how we could adjust it, and then also get some feedback of how they're feeling and how we can shift the whole back line over to help be a little more compact and help with that issue. And maybe it is like the second half they dropped off, and I would imagine that that wouldn't have been the message for them coming in out of halftime. But yeah, the second half had more momentum our way, but still they created chances in transition. So we have to try to eliminate that as well.
Felt like when Atlanta was pinning New England back, Brooks Lennon had a lot of opportunities from the right side, putting crosses into dangerous areas, but the runs weren't there. Is that something that it's just going to take a little bit of time with the personnel to figure out?
Hopefully not. I mean that the things that we did talk about were movements. So movements across near post, somebody across back post, cut back areas, but constant movement. I do feel like it was at times static. There was a lot of New England players inside the box. So whether Brooks got it or Caleb got it or whoever was in the wide areas when they got it, there was numbers there. So we weren't able to break quicker because they already had the numbers back. So we weren't able to have less players inside the box. And then yeah, we needed more movement in there. Because movement will hopefully pull players apart a little bit. We didn't have it, so it's something we need to continue working on. It's be a message that we continue with, and yeah, that's that.
And it felt like with the 5-2-3 when Sabo came on, the shape kind of opened up more. And did you get everything you wanted out of the team? The exception of goals, obviously. Did you get the effect that you wanted by getting 3 across the front?
Yeah, I think it was better. I mean, there was 5-2-3 in the attacking side of it, and then 5-4-1 when you drop back defensively, just to try to get a solid line across. Because I felt like we started to chase out to their midfielders, and we didn't need to in that moment. And then eventually, like they were giving us the ball back, and we were able to go and hurt them a little bit more in transition, but also to put more players in the middle of the field and get our wing backs to overlap as well. Yeah, I mean, apart from the goals, I think the changes that we made in game were ones that we needed to make and ones that were good in the moment of where I'm looking at it now. Obviously, you always reflect and look back at what you can do different, and I'll continue doing that.
Any questions on Zoom? Guess anything else? All right, thanks, Rob.
Thanks.
All right, we'll go ahead and take questions for Brooks. Again, we'll start in the room. Doug, lead us off.
If you just, the difference in the first half and the second half of the attack, what was the change? Because it looked a lot more effective in the second half.
Yeah, I think it was a lot more free flowing in the second half. I think the game opened up a little bit more for us, and we created a lot of chances that we didn't end up finishing, and ultimately it led to a loss. So those are the chances that we need to finish in games. And yeah, the second half was much better from the team, and we spoke about it at halftime that we were still in the game at 2-0. Obviously, it would have been much better at 1-0, and I think we conceded a pretty cheap goal and right before halftime, which obviously hurts you. Coming down from 1-0 instead of 2-0 is a lot different. But yeah, the game was much better in the second half, and we addressed some things at halftime that we thought could work in our favor, and they did. And yeah, I thought it was much better, and we had some positive runs and movements inside the box, but ultimately, we didn't finish our chances.
And this is an obvious question, but what were the difficulties without having Thiago in the lineup with getting things kind of going, maybe particularly in the first half?
Yeah, I think obviously Thiago is a great player, and we're gonna miss him a lot. He's a a guy that can create things on his own at times. But yeah, I think we lacked a little bit of that creativity. And I think it was just, stagnant in the first half. I think there weren't many runs being made, and yeah, I think we played into their hands in the first half. I think the second half was a lot better, and we moved the ball much quicker from side to side. And we talked about in the pregame, if we can move the ball from side to side and have long switches, even wing back to wing back, it'll help us create chances because they'll be expansive, and we can open them up. So very frustrated obviously from tonight's result, but I think we can take some positives from the second half. But yeah, it doesn't help when we lose a player like Thiago. I'm going to be honest with you, it doesn't help, but we have to focus on the group that's in the locker room now.
Jason had asked Rob about back post crosses that you were making, and Rob was talking about there weren't enough runs being made, and that people were stagnant.
Yeah.
I was just curious, how do you, is that a frustration for you, or how do you handle that in the game when you're doing this, but people aren't making the runs?
Yeah, sometimes it's frustrating. I want to increase my individual statistics. I think I can be closer to where I was last year. But I have to put the perfect cross in and hope that our strikers are able to get on the end of it. And yeah, I think those back post crosses, I think even from Caleb's side as well, were great. He put some very dangerous balls in. So we need to know that both of our wing backs are very good, have very good delivery of the ball. So when the ball gets wide, just trying to get more numbers in the box so that we can score goals.
Felt like the game changed in the second half a little bit with you cutting inside more, cutting back to the left foot, but then also coming inside. Was that kind of game plan, or was that just you finding that space?
Yeah, I think teams have definitely started to scout me, and they're really cutting off my right foot at times, and I'm pretty good with my left foot. So if they're gonna play me like that, I'll go inside all day long. And it's actually more dangerous to go inside than it is, outside and crossing the ball. So if they continue to defend me like that, I'm just going to continue to go inside and combine with the striker and even get some shots on goal and hopefully score some goals.
It felt like that movement started to open up space for not even just you, but for others, for the three midfielders, especially just flooding that zone. Is that something you think you can kind of build on going forward?
Definitely. Yeah. I think if we continue to play, the way we've been playing and, I get a lot of space at times out wide and a lot of the times I'm isolated out there when I get the ball. So it's a good opportunity for me to go 1v1 against a fullback or a wingback. Yeah, and I think if I can make my game a little bit more all around in terms of beating guys inside and also outside. So, he doesn't know if I'm gonna go to my right foot or to my left foot. That's the worst player to play against. Especially as a fullback. I know, wingers that are good with both feet are very tough to defend. So yeah, I'm gonna continue to use my left foot if they're gonna just allow me to have it. And I've been watching a lot of film with Matt Lowry and ways that I can hurt teams and hurt opponents if they're going to continue to defend me like this. Because the last two games, Toronto at home, Derek obviously knows me. Derek Etienne, he knows me well, so he knows kind of what I like to do. But as well, Duan Jones tonight, he's a good defender. But yeah, he was just giving me the inside all night, and so in the second half, I tried to take it as much as possible and combine with Danny.
In the first 45, felt like one of the challenges was New England overloading you and Caleb on each side, where they'd get extra runners. You guys needed extra help, but then you're starting to pull people in. How was the communication and some of those moments and handling those overloads?
Yeah, I think it can be better. I think our communication as a whole can be better, and that starts from Brad, and also can also start with Daniel Rios and the guys that are playing up front. I think the entire team needs to be a little bit more vocal, especially in times like this where, where we don't really kind of know what, where we are in terms of, the season and players coming in and out and stuff like that. It's an opportunity for guys to step up as leaders. And, I see myself as one of the leaders on this team. So not only can I be more vocal, but, I think everyone else can bring that up in their game. And I think it'll just help us, especially in the back line. When we're playing with five, we should never concede goals like we conceded tonight, just based on communication and shifting over and, covering your guy. Yeah, those are all just kind of basic things, but like you said, it all starts with communication.
And last one for me, when y'all were in that back five, and like in the first half, you and Kale were really, really wide. I mean, heels on the sidelines wide. New England was having a lot of success switching that ball into that middle third channel. Is that kind of one of the danger points when y'all were in that back five and the wing backs were playing so wide?
Yeah, I think it's good offensively to create a threat going forward, to stay high and wide as a wing back. But I think defensively, when the ball is on the left side, I have to tuck in as a back four, and Caleb can go up and press, and vice versa. When the ball's on the right side, I have freedom to go and press the outside back, and we should all shift over and get into a back four because we have an extra man at the back. So we shouldn't be tentative to step out as wing backs. We should be, we should have the courage and know that we have cover behind us because we have an extra defender. So that's just stuff that we can work on and continue to build on and continue to communicate and yeah, it's not always so super easy and just black and white. So we'll see. We'll watch the video and get better.
All right. Any questions from Zoom? All right, we'll end it there. Thanks, everyone.